What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pat and Dan Show. We're now on episode 11. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hennessy, joined as usual by the man, Dan Rurick. How are we doing today, Dan?
Dude, I'm doing well. I can't lie. I am doing fine.
You know why? Because Joey Gallo is a New York Yankee. You love to see it. The trade was finalized today. Bro, news broke last night. We were all losing our minds. I was on stream, and someone in the chat donated. They're like, bro, you have to call Dan right now to get his reaction. I FaceTimed you. You didn't answer because you were recording your video, and then you called me back. Were you running?
Yeah, because Andrew was here, so I had to go get her outside to bring her in or whatever. Bro, that made my day when you did that. One, whoever donated to have me call in or have you call me, that's sick. And bro, it was just so dope when he told me yo, I'm live on a stream right now. Like, yeah, let's go. But yeah, very good news that we got Joey.
So hype. So hype. But listen, before we get into anything, shout out to everybody currently in the chat. I do want to take attendance/roll call, but everyone's spamming L's because of today's loss. I know the Yankees lost today, but it's like, bro, there's no way I could be upset about today's loss.
Good
bro,
vibes
it's
still.
Good vibes only. But listen, shout out to everybody in chat. We got Griminator, Brendan, you Elvis, FJ, Emilio, Conrad, bunch of people, BJ, Big Brain Borg. Appreciate you all for stopping by. But
wait,
I mean,
how many viewers are in here right now? Can you tell me? Are there more than 75?
Right now we have
once
86.
there's 75 okay, if everybody on here made a Twitter account and went to follow me right now, I would hit 10,000 followers on Twitter. Just putting it out there. Use that information as you will. Go on,
That's
Pat.
such a cry for help.
It is.
but listen, we have so much to talk about today. Like I said, I guess we kind of start things off by talking about Joey Gallo, right? The official deal was announced today. I want to pull up the official names here because I feel like the names went back and forth so often between originally Clark Schmidt was going to be involved in the deal. It was going to be a 2-for-6 with John King. But the final names were the Yankees acquired Joey Gallo, and I believe his name's pronounced Joely Rodriguez, who's a left-handed pitcher, in exchange for 4 minor leaguers, Glenn Otto, Ezekiel Duran, Trevor Hauver, and Josh Smith.
Dude, listen, I mean, I think
the Yankees
bro,
that's a fleece on the side of the Yankees.
So I don't want to call anything a fleece yet, because I feel like we've called trades in the past fleaces and they don't end up being fleeces. But as of right now, it's looking so good for the Yankees, bro, for multiple reasons. One, the guys you just named, not one of them are top 10 guys. I think the highest is Josh Smith, is the Yankees number 14 prospect. I'm pretty sure I read.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, and this is good too, the Rangers are happy with the return, and executives across baseball say the Rangers did well. So that's good. I mean, you always want the other side to be happy with what they got. But the fact that we didn't give up any top 10 guys, and the biggest thing, bro, is we're not paying a dime for either Gallo or I think Joey,
which is huge.
Joely, I heard now.
Joely.
Joely, some weird
Michael
thing.
K pronounced it an interesting way today.
Yeah. So whatever it is, Joely or Joely, we're not paying a dime for him. So that allows us to, I think we have $4 million left to go spend, and we are not done by any means. So Story is still on the table. Now Jose Barrios is on the table, and a trade getting rid of, I don't want to say getting rid of, but Luke Voit might be shipped out of here. So we're just getting started.
I mean, no, I know. And that's what I think is the key thing here. The fact that bro, I saw so many people their instant reaction to the deal was that they didn't like it, right? We talked about this so often when we kind of discussed the possibility of the Yankees trading for
I don't know
Gallo.
who you're following on Twitter, bro. You must follow some
idiots.
idiots.
No, I'm not saying on Twitter. I'm saying some people in the chat last night when I went live for the thing here. But I mean, you have the random people who are bringing up batting average as statistic as to why Joey Gallo is not a good fit, or the home run or strikeout type of thing. Let me just say this right here. When a guy is batting 220 with almost a 400 on base percentage, he's a very, very good baseball player. I'm pretty sure he's leading the American League in walks as well. He's 25 home runs. Joey Gallo is the definition of what the Yankees need in their lineup. As we kind of talked about this in previous episodes, I view him as a left-handed Aaron Judge. That's essentially how I'm viewing him coming to this team. We're talking about a guy with elite defense, an elite arm, a bat that will easily hit 45 home runs in Yankee Stadium in a full season. And also, let's not forget that he's under team control for next year as well. And then keep this in mind, bro, you didn't give up a single top 10 prospect to get him. I think that's the biggest thing here. We didn't give Dan, I'm going to repeat this. We did not give up a single top 10 prospect to get Joey Gallo.
I know, bro.
I didn't think it would be possible because I know 24 hours before the trade happened, I think it was Dan Federico tweeted this out. Shout out to Dan.
He's the man. I love Dan.
Solid name. I think he said the Rangers were originally asking for 2 top 5 prospects. A very far cry from what they actually got out of the deal.
I was just about to say, what we gave up already is just that's so good to hear. That's all we gave up. But like, especially when you're coming from, we thought we were giving up Clark Schmidt at first because that was the initial report was that Clark Schmidt was going back, which wouldn't have upset me too much, you know. But I want to mention something about you bring up the batting average, right? One of the counterpoints somebody has pointed out about Gallo having such a high on base, like, oh, he's in the Texas Rangers lineup, like they just pitch around him. Well, that's a good thing because now he's going to be in the Yankees lineup, and if that's true, that they just pitch around him, well, now that he has Judge behind him or Stanton behind him, he's going to get a lot more pitches to hit. So he could be an even more productive hitter with the Yankees. And you expect him to be because what's that one page? I forget what it is, but like they do the chart where like Joey Gallo's flyouts in Texas' homes, like Globe Life Park, whatever it's called.
I know what you're talking
Yankee
about.
Stadium, he gets like an extra like 7 or something home runs. So I mean, like Yankee Stadium alone is going to make him a better player, and we all know that. Like that's why we've been begging the Yankees to add a left-handed hitter with power.
No,
for years
and also,
now.
Bro, it's not even like Yankee Stadium. It's like just putting him in the Yankees lineup is not only going to make him better, it's going to make everyone in the Yankees lineup better. Bro, we're talking about like his protection in the lineup anymore. Like who protected him in the lineup in Texas?
I really
Adolis Garcia. Like
probably.
But bro, now you're probably, I don't know what the exact lineup configuration is going to be looking like, but I'm assuming you're probably going to be putting him in between like Judge and Stanton. That's probably what's going to make the most sense.
Also, that you figure would improve Aaron Judge too, because I mean, no offense to Gary Sanchez, who's had a nice season. Like, who's more of a threat? If you're a pitcher on the other side, who are you more afraid of, Gary Sanchez or Joey Gallo? Joey Gallo.
But
right now,
also, bro, Rougned Odor has been the Yankees 3-hitter for like for the past few weeks or so. So I think that's also significant here that like Rougned Odor can work his way down the order a little bit more. And Rougned Odor will probably be on the bench if the Yankees do acquire Trevor Story, which I think is something that we could talk about here. Yeah. So
they could also go on.
I'm not sure who tweeted out today, but apparently Trevor Story is like one of the guys heavily on the Yankees radar right now. Dan, I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm kind of examining the Yankees trade options right now, I don't know if I consider Trevor Story like a main priority for the Yankees, especially after getting Joey Gallo. But what do you think about it? Because I know you're very high on Trevor Story here.
Well, I mean, I want to say I'm high on getting Trevor Story now that we have secured Joey Gallo. So like I feel like it's kind of like, what's the term? Like not playing with house's money, but in a way, it's like we got the main piece. Like when you say I'm high on Trevor Story, I feel like it's like I'm high on getting anybody that can remotely improve this team right now. So whether that's like, getting Jose Barrios, which when we list like the priorities for what this team needs, I'd say now starting pitching is actually at the bottom of the barrel, I would say, right? Like in the lower tier of what we need. I would think so. I think it's bullpen and another bat. And so whichever way that bat comes, whether it's Trevor Story or whether it's Kyle Schwarber, I'll take really anybody. But Trevor Story, apparently they're not going to be asking all that much for.
Yeah, and listen, I think the only reason I'm not like too adamant on a Trevor Story trade right now is because he would be a rental. Now, I'm looking at this Yankees team right now, and obviously, like on paper, they look like, especially if they make another deal or so, they look like that they can easily be in the competition for the second wildcard spot, if not the favorite for it, even though they don't currently have possession of it. But there's always a chance where if they don't make a wildcard spot this season, and even if they do make the wildcard spot and for some reason they lose the wildcard game, I don't want to feel like we just got Trevor Story for nothing. You know what I mean? Just because I can't really see an extension for him making too much sense. Just because, I think it was you I was having this conversation with, but the Yankees are very high on Corey Seager. Like they've been interested in him for years. So I think if it came down to it in the free agent market, they'd probably prefer Seager over Story, which is not something that I agree with. But I think just because of that, they're not going to be giving Story an extension. So
can I just comment because I'm with you on that. Like I don't. And that's why I wouldn't want to give up all that much for Story because I don't want to give him an extension. So I feel like if there's a deal where like a deal where you can't refuse with Trevor Story, where it's like maybe they don't give up Volpe, they don't give up Peraza, they don't give up any like top 7, top 8 guys, like then I could probably like stomach the idea of that return. But like, am I gonna like if I were the Yankees, like I wouldn't like try my absolute hardest to get Trevor Story because if you don't get him, it's not a big deal. You can go out and get like Kyle Schwarber and have him play first base and still trade Luke Voit, which I'm not sure if you want to get to that, but.
And that's exactly why I love the Gallo deal so much. Like going back to that real quick, like the fact that we have Gallo for next season too, just in case like this season just ends up being a complete wash for whatever reason. And no matter what the Yankees do at the deadline, like they still just can't find a way to compete for whatever reason. Bro, you start fresh next season and you have Joey Gallo in your everyday lineup starting in April. I think, bro, like I said before, that's an easy 45 home runs playing however amount of games in Yankee Stadium every year. And also not only Yankee Stadium, but in the AL East in general. I think that would just benefit Joey Gallo a ton. I'm just so excited to see him, bro. And I think also the clubhouse presence that he's going to provide, right? Obviously, we didn't see it today with today's blowout loss here, but I think he's going to kind of boost the morale of everybody in the sense of the organization believes in us in a sense of to go out and get a star player like Joey Gallo. Last time we were this excited about an acquisition, was it not Garrett Cole back in 2019? And before that
easily.
is like
Stanton? I was thinking, I would say, yeah, for sure. I would say deadline wise, like this is easily the biggest since Sonny Gray. And I'd say it's probably even bigger.
I would say it's bigger. No, I'd say it's bigger for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. And speaking of the control, I feel like outside of Story, really the only, unless once again, it doesn't take too much to get whoever you're trying to get. Like, I think the Yankees are only going to go after guys that are under control through next year. And that makes sense.
I agree.
For all like the reasons you just listed.
Yeah. Listen, shout out to Leanna with the $2 dono. Appreciate you, Leanna. She says, I think you have to trade Voit to get Story and Gray. I do that in a heartbeat, though.
But I think Gray's a free agent too after this year, isn't he?
He is.
We looked it up
we looked it up.
That's what I don't know. Like, I mean, if you can just do Voit for like, that's one of those trades where I'd be fine with that. Like, if you just give up Voit for Story and Gray, which I don't think would happen, like that, I'm totally cool with. It's just a matter of like, I want to get guys that are under control for next year, unless they fall into your lap like that trade.
No, yeah, I mean that's completely fair, and that's why that kind of brings me to like my major talking point that I do want to discuss today. And this is like the hill that I'm currently dying on, Dan. I think that the best trade that the Yankees can make right now, and I went on Twitter, this was a very hot take. I said if the Yankees go out and they make a deal for Jose Barrios and Max Kepler, they're winning the division. Now, I know like that's a real hot take, especially however games they are out right now. But I think while Joey Gallo is like a season-changing trade, I think if there's a season-changing trade, it's going out there and it's acquiring Jose Barrios and Max Kepler. That fulfills all this team's needs. I think on paper, that's a perfectly constructed roster. You're looking at a rotation consisting of Garrett Cole, Jose Barrios, Jameson Taillon, Jordan Montgomery, Domingo Germán, Nestor Cortez, and then you also have Severino and Kluber coming back. It makes them a lot more expendable if you want to throw them in a bullpen position. And then also Max Kepler. You have an outfield of Joey Gallo, Max Kepler, Aaron Judge. I think the Yankees would be absolutely set. And I'm pretty sure both of those guys are under contract through next season as well.
I mean, Kepler, I think, is for like another like 4 years, I'm pretty sure. Barrios, I think, might be through next year. I think Kepler actually might happen. Barrios, I'm not too sure because I could see teams overpaying for Barrios where I don't think they would do that for Kepler. But yeah, no, bro. I mean, that outfield, like, Gallo, Kepler, Judge. Is he quick? I know he's young. He's not.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kepler's nice. Not a free agent until 2025, bro.
Yeah, so like that would be, and that obviously bumps up his value a lot too. But like, bro, to have Max Kepler and have him bat ninth, like to have him finish out the order. Because like the lineup, bro, I'm not sure if you saw my tweet before. I mean, you could just imagine how good the lineup is going to be if imagine if they were to like, they're not going to do this, but if they ever get like Trevor Story too, I don't know. But even if they don't,
there's no shot.
Say they keep Luke Voit, bro. Like you're looking at a lineup that would almost have to bat Max Kepler ninth with how good it's going to be and how deep.
No, I know, and that would
be
the
lineup
ridiculous.
Would be insane.
So that's why I'm kind of looking at it, and I'm like, that's how like so often we talk about like the Yankees needed like a 2017 type like Todd Frazier, David Robertson, Tommy Kahnle type deal. I think if there's that kind of deal that can be made, it's Jose Barrios, Max Kepler. I don't think that there's any other trade that needs to be made right now. And the fact that kind of got me a little bit giddy about this whole thing is when Jack Curry tweeted out, I think it was during the game today, that the Yankees are they have their sights on Jose Barrios right now. And bro, we were talking about this before we went live. When Jack Curry tweets out something, it's legit because he's not just going to tweet out anything. Like he only tweets out stuff that he knows like are in serious discussion.
And he's usually always dead on.
I know.
With Gallo stuff.
I mean, I would hope so. Like working for Yes Network, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no. Like in all seriousness, I would love this deal, and I think it's the only deal that the Yankees can make. I know like Trevor Story seems like a cool bet, but I think if there's a one trade that's going to improve like this team greatly, I would much rather prefer Jose Barrios and Max Kepler over Trevor Story and John Gray. Call me crazy, but I think that's what I'd prefer to do at the moment.
No, I mean that to me, bro, that's a no-brainer just from the control aspect. Like I wouldn't want to put all our eggs in one basket for this year. And that's not that I don't believe in this team. Like, I do if we keep improving like this and we already have Joey Gallo, Garrett Cole in a wild card game, which I know after today doesn't sound as good, especially if it's going to be in Tropicana Field. But like, build up the team this year while also preparing for next year. And in the Kepler and Barrios case, I'm not sure if you looked at Barrios' control, but like that prepares us for not just next year, years to come, at least with Kepler. Did you look at Barrios? Is he under control past next year?
Let me check.
Barrios would take a lot, so I feel like that.
Barrios is so basically he's under contract obviously this year, arbitration next year, and then he becomes a free agent. So he's under contract for next season as well.
Okay, yeah, no, that's. I mean, obviously, I would like it. I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen or not, but yeah, no, I mean, I think
that's the final piece of the puzzle. Now, listen, the only thing that like does kind of irritate me and something that I was thinking about today is I truly wish that like we could kind of view Trevor Story as like that last piece to get us over the hump, right? I wish the Yankees weren't so inconsistent this season to the point where like we have to kind of like consider the fact that if we get Trevor Story, like, and the Yankees don't make the playoffs, it might be a waste. Like, I wish we were guaranteed a playoff spot right now, like, as we usually are at this point in the season, right? You look back at, like, 2019, 2018, even 2017 to a point, I guess. Like, we were almost considered, like, a lock for the postseason. Now, it doesn't really seem like that. So, obviously, there's nothing we could do about this. But I just wish the Yankees played so much better earlier on in the year so that we aren't really at this point now where we have to kind of, like, be concerned about rentals and then being a waste of kind of prospects. You know what I mean?
And it also comes down to how bad the bullpen's been. Like, if the bullpen doesn't blow all these games the last 3 weeks, looking at a totally different scenario. And also, too, I mean, Story, how many times have we said this? He's not having that good of a year. Like, not having a good year really at all. So I feel like that goes into it as well. Now, it's another thing when you look at, like, the projected home run map, like if you were playing in Yankee Stadium, it'd be I think he would have like another 10 home runs. So maybe he would get better as a Yankee. And you may not agree with this, bro. When people come to the Yankees, they automatically just get better for the most part. It rejuvenates them, especially bro, in a walk year. Trevor Story, I think he would play well here.
I'm kind of torn on it simply because like I don't think any of that has to do with like being a Yankee. I think most of it has to do with maybe just like a new environment. Maybe,
but that
I don't. I feel like pitchers not being used to the player. I think it's just any team in general.
But no, it definitely plays a part. But there's no new environment that provides a jolt more than playing as being a Yankee.
I know, but Dan, this is where we get torn on because like maybe if we're talking like back in the day, sure, but like there's no jolt of coming to this 2021 New York Yankees right now. There's just not.
I disagree with you. Like I disagree.
I know,
with you.
But
like,
why? Because Dan. Because like take history aside, you're looking at the 2021 Yankees. What makes coming to this team so special?
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just saying being a Yankee in general, like there is still something about the pinstripes. And like that's indisputable because every player that comes here says it. Like you see the way they talk when a player, like a random bum is traded to the Yankees. How do they talk about that versus if they were traded to the Rangers or traded to, I don't know, the Mariners or something like that?
But that's different. But that's just how the organization works, bro.
No, it's the Yankees. Like they are the New York Yankees, the most successful team this country has ever seen in sports. Now, it's also when you look at the 2021 Yankees, like obviously record-wise and just the way we've seen them play this year, it's not like good, but you're still coming here to a team with Garrett Cole, with Aaron Judge, with Giancarlo Stanton. Like it's not like a 2013 team where it's full of bombs. Like there's still players you're excited to play with.
It's not, but you're also looking at a team that's like what 9 games back of first place right now. So there's no like jolt of being like, I'm going to the best team in baseball right now and I'm going to win a World Series. There's a reason why Max Scherzer on like his list of teams he wouldn't want to be traded to. The Yankees are on that team, bro.
No,
he would not be traded to the Yankees at all.
No, that's not true. That's not why he said that. He said that because he doesn't want to go to New York. Why would he not want to go to the Mets? They're in first place.
You're telling me right now. I read the article. It was
in the Athletic. I really read it yesterday. That's what he said was New York.
No. You're telling me right now, hypothetically, if the Yankees had the best record in baseball, Max Scherzer wouldn't want to come here.
He doesn't want to go to New York, so I don't see why that would change that.
But I disagree. I truly think that if the Yankees had the best record in baseball right now, there's no chance Max Scherzer would be like, no, I don't want to go there.
Then there's no reason for him not to want to go to the Mets because the Mets are probably a lock to win the NL East with how bad that division is. Why wouldn't he want to go to the Mets? They're in first place.
I don't know if the Mets are a lock to win the
NL East. Have you seen the NL East? They're an embarrassment.
No, I know, but it's like they're all so bad. But it's like, bro, everyone's so bad that they're all kind of like all within range.
No, and if that were the case, someone makes some big moves. If that were the case, Scherzer would have just said, "I don't want to go to the Yankees or whichever team because they're not a contender," which isn't true. But he just said, "I don't want to go to New York."
I think that's just one thing that we heavily disagree on. I think you're still kind of like think that the Yankees still have like all this pride and tradition that they used to, and I'm kind of viewing it.
I have no reason not to.
Yeah, I'm viewing it in a sense of looking at the 2021 Yankees and only the 2021 Yankees. I don't care about anything that happened in the past, bro. I don't care how many World Series the Yankees won. I don't care how many games they won in the past few years in the regular season. None of that matters to me. And that's why I'm viewing it from a player's perspective, especially a guy like Max Scherzer who's getting older. Sure. But I'm viewing it. Okay, but I'm viewing it as if I were Max Scherzer, and I'm seeing that I'm a free agent at the end of the year. I want to win another World Series, And the Yankees currently aren't the best possible place to do so. So therefore, I probably wouldn't get a trade there, regardless of how prideful and how much tradition the pinstripes hold. That's just the way I'm viewing
listen, I'm not saying like if it was like, say, Scherzer, like it was on the table, Yankees or Padres, like I'm not saying he's wrong for choosing the Padres, but I don't think the Yankees, like I don't think the mystique and like passion of the pinstripes, all the history and all that stuff, I don't think that's just like totally gone because the 2021 Yankees are like not that good or not as good as they should have been.
And no, but it would mean nothing to me as a player.
And that's okay. So that's your opinion. This is my opinion. So like it's on the same level. I'm not saying you're wrong, just personal opinion. But like back to my point before about like the team itself, like, yeah, record's not that great. Things haven't gone our way. We haven't looked that good this season at times. But there's still players on this team that are stars. We have many stars on this team. Like, I don't want to go through it again, but Judge, Cole, Stanton, like these guys are all.
No,
like,
Dan, I get it. But like, what have those guys done for this team as of late? Not even as of late, within the past few years. Like, we have stars on this team, but what has that accomplished us?
Well, you could say that about 29 teams that didn't win the World Series that particular
exactly.
year.
No, exactly.
Okay, so look at the Padres. What has that done for them? They didn't win a World
Nothing,
Series
but they're in better position to win this year than we are.
That's fair, but so are the Mets. Scherzer just didn't want to go to New York. That's the thing. We bring up Scherzer. This whole conversation is about Scherzer. It's as simple as he didn't want to go to New York.
No, but also, I mean, I hate the argument that like, oh, the Yankees have so many stars and that's like attractive for like either like a trade target or free agent. I think performance matters over everything.
No. I'm not saying that's what makes them attractive. I'm saying saying that the team itself is unattractive is overblown. What makes them attractive is playing in New York and still playing for the Yankees, putting on the pinstripes. That makes them attractive. What you're saying, the team itself is what kind of like negates that. I'm saying that's not true because they still do have stars. I'm not saying that's what makes them attractive.
I think it determines by the player, right? Because some players obviously are going to have my mentality and some players might have your mentality. I mean,
listen, David Price said, you're right in some aspects. David Price literally said, like, I wouldn't ever go to the Yankees because I'd have to shave my beard. So, like, it obviously depends.
There's that aspect too, I mean, Brian Wilson, same thing with him back in the day.
Yeah, well, he was like a one-hit wonder anyway, so who cares?
He wasn't a one. I mean, he had a few good
two-hit wonder. He was good from like 2010 to 2012, I guess.
But also,
good.
I mean,
he was good during the Giants World Series run, which is really all that matters.
We're talking about Max Scherzer. I believe Ken Rosenthal tweeted out like right before we went live here. The Padres were close to acquiring Max Scherzer. Now, I don't know if like that deal is actually done. I don't know what names are being worked on in that deal. But bro, I mean, you have to give like credit where credit's due to the San Diego Padres. Like they're just making all the necessary moves possible in order to win a World Series. Like that's basically their goal. And bro, they've been planning this out for years. This Padres team is years in the making. It all started back when in 2014, maybe when they traded for Will Myers. And then that kind of just started the whole.
I forgot about Will Myers.
Yeah. He used to be a Ray, and then they traded for him right after the Rookie of the Year season, if I'm not mistaken. And then they've just gone through so many ups and downs. But I think Max Scherzer might be that final piece of the puzzle because going into the season, they had like a stupid rotation. And then obviously because of injuries, Blake Snell is underperforming. I think Max Scherzer might be the final piece of the puzzle for the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, as long as they can get past that wild card. I mean, maybe they'll win the division. Let me look at the standings right now.
They're
5.5, and that really sucks for the Padres, bro. Imagine being 59-45 and you're 5.5 back in the division.
Well, that's like the 2018 Yankees.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, especially when it's not even the Dodgers that you're behind for first place. It's the Giants that came out of nowhere. Nobody expected that. But yeah, no, this is what I was saying to you before the show. The Padres better hope that they win a World Series, because what if we criticize the Yankees for not ever going all in like this, right? Not like totally decimating their farm. First of all, the Padres farm system, like I'm not too big into prospects. They must really be stacked to be able to do all these trades, right?
No, but they were stacked for a very long time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they better hope this works out, because if they don't win a World Series, like then like outside of like Tatis and like some of the other young players that I'm thinking of, like they're kind of screwed, yo. So they better hope they win a World Series either this year, and I'm not sure if they're going to re-sign Scherzer. You figure they would. I'm not sure how much they're going to give up for him, but they they got to win in this window. Is what I'm saying. If they're going to keep doing moves like this.
Here's my thing, and like we kind of refer to like the Yankees, right? And I want to bring up Diego's comment here. I wish the Yankees made these moves in 2019. I think you look at the Padres, and I think they're the definition of like making the moves you have to make during a certain like window of contention with a certain core, and realizing like this window's not going to be around forever. So I need to do whatever we have to do in order to win a World Series. And I think that's where, if the Yankees end up not winning a World Series with this core, I think that's what we'll always look back on, right? The Yankees always like acquiring like these pieces here and there to kind of just improve, but they never truly went all out, right? They got Stanton, then they were kind of lax for a little bit. They got Cole, then they were lax for a little bit. And then it just seems like they never really just went for that gut punch, especially like the 2019 trade deadline, for example. The Yankees really could have went all out, right? And then they just didn't. You had Brian Cashman go out on his press conference and he starts talking like, oh, like Marcus Stroman. We have guys who are better than Marcus Stroman and whatever. So I think that might be the downfall of this Yankees core if they don't really do what the Padres did.
You're so right when you say like it never seems like it seems like they never went all out. Like I feel like they never even came close to like fully trying when it came to the pitching end of things. It's like they figured let's just get Garrett Cole and that's it. And even that was like too late in a way because like I feel like all Yankee fans like we outside of 2017 and getting screwed over by the Astros, like 2019 is the year that we look at as like that was the year. And like if the Yankees, if they just made the move, like how the Padres went out and got Max Scherzer, you don't have to make a move that big because there were some circumstances going against them in 19. You know, like the Indians were going to deal Bauer to the Yankees, and there's some other guys too, I guess, that couldn't have came to the Yankees. But if you just improve the pitching rotation enough, I feel like in 2019, like that was the year where we could have won. So yeah, no, it is kind of upsetting to see the Padres doing what we should have done.
No, and it's not only the Padres. It's like you look at like numerous other teams that like we bring up the Astros all the time. Like they went out, they got Cole, Verlander, and Greinke, and like that's kind of led them to.
That was another thing I want to mention. So like in 19, like the Indians were going to deal Bauer to us. We weren't able to get Greinke because he like can't handle New York. So like there were some circumstances going against us, but there's still some pitchers out there. Like you don't have to get a number one. You could have gotten a number 2 starter, number 3 starter, just to improve that rotation going into the year.
And I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this. But like I think, like I said, I hate bringing this up because the window is not closed, but it's closing. I think what the biggest mistake the Yankees could have ever made was during this contention window was not trading for Garrett Cole before the 2018 season. I stand by that forever.
When we know the package it would have taken, it makes it even more frustrating.
I know, and I think that's the biggest mistake. For some reason, they acquired Giancarlo Stanton after that 2017 season, and we were like, you know what? The Yankees are truly going all out, right? They're going to go out, they're going to get some more stuff. And then it was another one of those situations where they get the big fish, and then they kind of settle after that. And that's why I'm only a little bit concerned right now as far as like the Joey Gallo acquisition goes, because they got their big fish now. And I don't want them to just settle now and realize like we got the big fish and that's it. You need to get that big fish. And then you also need to add some more little pieces because I hate going back to the Padres all the time. But like you look at what they're doing this trade deadline, they got Adam Frazier, okay? But they're not done, bro. They went out and they got Max Scherzer as well. Like these are the moves that you need to make in order to improve.
I'm so with you on that. And that's why, remember like the video I made, the Giancarlo Stanton trade was a mistake. That had nothing to do with him as a player. It was a mistake if you were going to go out and get Stan and then let that be your excuse to be financially handcuffed over the next couple of years. And like same with Garrett Cole in a way. Like you can't just make these deals and then not add like supplemental players around them too. So like that's why like I was a fan of Tim LeCastro trade at the time before he got hurt, and a fan of the Clay Holmes deal and like Joely Rodriguez. Like those moves are all nice once you get the big piece. So now that we have Gallo, go out and get 1 more or 2 more because I think I would say another pitcher and another bat. If they do that, then it's like, all right, Yankees, good trade deadline. And that would probably be the best trade deadline we've had since go past 2017, I guess, since I can't even think. I feel like definitely one of the best trade deadlines if they get
of all time
I was going to say at least of this century, if they go out and get another pitcher and another bat.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, dude, I'm looking at this Yankees team, and it's like that's why this whole time when we always talked about these little supplemental moves that were made, right? The Tim LeCastros, the Clay Holmes. I was always, bro, every single time, like, this doesn't make sense for the Yankees. I don't understand. I'm not going to get excited over it. But now that they have Gallo, all these supplemental moves I'll be okay with because you got your big fish and then you could add on the little fish around it. Bro, it's like Finding Nemo. You know, like that. Wait, please
never
tell me
seen it.
Finding Nemo.
Never seen it. I wasn't a big Disney person. And that's the thing against Disney. Just, bro, I've seen Snow White more times than I've seen I was a big Snow White fan growing up. Yeah. I don't know why. I just was.
So you've never seen Finding Nemo? And I thought I was the
I've never seen
one.
Finding Nemo. I've never seen Finding Nemo. But hey,
okay.
Can we just comment something? Because, we're talking about the trade deadline, how the Yankees got Joey Gallo. Can you admit that I was right? They went out and got Joey Gallo. What? I said about getting a meal or a move.
I agree 1,000%. But before we talk about that, I want to bring up a comment from the man, Trevor Plouffe. Your shout to Trevor Plouffe. He says, yo, for real, I love listening to you guys. Keep doing it. Great energy. Dad. Absolute legend.
I love you, Plouffe.
Absolute legend. In the chat. Shout out to Plouffe. But no, what you asked me like you were right about being right about Gallo.
I am right. Yeah.
No, okay. And I want to kind of make my argument here because the whole time I was like, Dan, I'm so like cautiously pessimistic about the Yankees going out and getting the big fish. But if they do, I hope they prove me wrong. And they did. The Yankees went out, they got the job done, they acquired Joey Gallo.
Because I told you the circumstances were different. I told you. The Yankees, and that's why.
No, I know.
Cut you off. I'll let you finish the point. But that's why I do feel like the Yankees are definitely going to make another move or two because, bro, their backs are against the wall. Like, they have to make the playoffs. And I feel like that's the main difference between, like that's why the Yankees don't do what the Padres do, because the Padres are basically banking on this next, 2, 3, 4 years to win a World Series, right? And then after that, they're kind of on some Red Sox vibes this decade, where, the Red Sox, they'll win, and then they'll be, the worst team in baseball the next year. The Yankees just want to avoid that, where, they always want to be a relevant team. And they'll truly be that way, I feel like. They'll always stay at least, in playoff contention until, the last couple of weeks of the season. It'll be the same case this year. So I feel like that's why they haven't wanted to, blow it up or anything, or, gone for, the big fish, as we say. This year, though, bro, if they didn't make these moves, it's almost a guarantee they weren't going to make the playoffs. And if they did make the playoffs, they didn't really stand a chance. That's why I feel like they did go out and get Joey Gallo, and they're going to go out and hopefully get a pitcher and another bat.
Yeah, but do you realize that's why I always get pissed off?
That's what I was saying.
You realize that's why I always get pissed off, because the Yankees are so scared of being like the Red Sox and having a losing record that I think that also prevents them from going back to what we were talking about before, going all out, which I think sometimes is what you need to do in order to win the World Series. So I think that sometimes you can be a little bit too passive. You know what I'm saying? I think going out and getting Jameson Taillon in the offseason, getting Corey Kluber, rather than going after the big fishes, I think that hurts. But listen, going back to the whole me being wrong about the Yankees not trading for a big fish, I tweeted this out yesterday. I think it was a couple hours before the Gallo deal. I put out a poll on Twitter. I was like, do you guys think that we're going to, the Yankees are going to make a significant trade? And I said, I'm leaning towards no. And I was leaning towards no because as the days were going on, I was wrong, Dan. I'm admitting I was wrong. I can admit when I was wrong.
That's why you should listen to me, bro. Well, I'm never wrong. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah. No, but this is what I'm saying. It's I'm glad that they made that big move, but are you asking me, is this team complete right now? I'm going to still tell you no. I'm still going to tell you no. So I think regardless of what happens, over the next 24 hours or so, because trade deadline's tomorrow at 4 p.m. I think that whether or not I consider this trade deadline a success is depending on what the Yankees do over the next 24-hour period, right? Because as of right now, I'm still not going to say it's a success. I'm sorry. Joey Gallo is not fixing this Yankees team.
But the way I see it, I think the Yankees think that too, and they wouldn't have gone out and gotten Gallo if they're not going to add on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Well, it would make no sense to go out and get Gallo and then not continue to improve, which from all reports, they are going to continue to improve. If you had to pick one, say one more move left, offense or pitcher, who are you taking? Or which you taking?
Well, when you say pitcher, doesn't matter starter or reliever?
No, just in the generic sense of the word, pitcher or a bat?
Pitcher. Simply because I'll give you some reasoning behind it. Simply because I think that injecting Joey Gallo into that lineup already gives you a little jolt of energy that they needed in that department. So now if you go out and you get an elite pitcher as well, I think that kind of gives a little bit of a jolt to not only the bullpen, but the rotation, whatever kind of pitcher it is. And also, I think it gives the Yankees a little bit more room to work with as far as Severino and Kluber coming back, because they are going to be coming back within, I believe, the next month or so. So, I mean, with that being said, you don't want to have to rely on these guys too much. So if you could kind of improve your pitching depth as much as possible, so you don't have to rely on them too much, I think that that's the biggest key to the Yankees having success down the stretch for sure.
I'm with you. I'd go pitcher too. Hopefully, I'm set on I think their starting rotation is honestly fine, especially with Sevy and now Kluber apparently going to be coming back in September or August. I would go and get a reliever or two. And you know who really is a factor in my decision there? The emergence of Rougned Odor being an actual decent hitter.
It's so weird, bro. We were his nuts, biggest haters for so long.
Bro, dude, it's so bad. And I guess, this is where I'll admit I was wrong. The amount of DFA Odor tweets that were on my timeline is insane, Yeah. And I don't even feel bad admitting that, yo, because I feel like everybody felt the same way, and rightfully so. He was terrible for the first 2 months of the season. But honestly, yo, because I was going to ask you, do you think there's any chance Voit gets dealt even if the Yankees don't acquire another bat? So no Story, no Kepler. Do you think Voit, there's still a chance he could get dealt? And I say there's still a chance because they have
Odor.
For
sure, yeah.
Because then you have the lefty bat in Odor, so DJ can slide over to first, and Odor would just stay or play second, and then I guess Gleyber stays at short. Which, to me, going out and get Story isn't I wouldn't do that deal because of Gleyber's defense worrying me. I trust Gleyber's defense. Now, would getting Story improve the infield defense? Absolutely. But I'm content with, at least for this year, I'm content with Gleyber's defense.
Yeah, and I listen, I think that we wouldn't even be having like this conversation about Trevor Story right now if it wasn't for like Luke Voigt being so like injury prone / like underperforming so far this season. Like, bro, if we knew Luke Voigt was gonna come back and be like 2020 Luke Voigt, I don't think there would even be a discussion about getting another bat. But I think kind of his lack of consistency over the past season or so, I think that that's kind of like the biggest question mark as far as like the Yankees lineup goes.
And let me say this, like, I take pride in that, dating back to last offseason, I think you were with me on this. Like, I wanted to trade Luke Voigt. But I'll say this, it had nothing to do with me being nervous about, like, him not performing this year or him being injury prone. Like, that wasn't a concern of mine. I just said that he's a replica of guys that we already have that aren't going to be going anywhere in Judge and Stanton. But with Voigt not being able to stay on the field this year, and they're like legitimate injuries too. Like, what has it been? Like, what was he out at first? It was like the knee thing, right? Whatever it was,
yeah,
like a knee injury.
I think so.
So like it's not like a Judge broken wrist like fluke thing. Like they're like legitimate injuries that he's had, and he's dealt with injuries in the past before. Luke, or Luke's not a fluke. Remember that in 2019 when he was good. Luke's not a fluke. But anyways, like with that being the case, like I feel like if you're say Voigt comes back and he doesn't perform, like there's a legitimate possibility like he will be benched. So if that's the case, if you're fearful of that, and Voigt still does have some trade value, like I think you should still consider dealing him, even if you're not going to get a bat back.
No, I agree for sure. I want to pull up this dono here from Jesus. Shout out to Jesus Chavez, the $2 dono. Appreciate you, my man. He says, can't wait for Gallo to be out there. Story is next. Now we're talking about Story right now. Dan, I guess we could kind of pose this question right now. I don't know how I want to word this. Do you think that the Yankees are going to acquire Trevor Story? I was going to say, like, do you think the Yankees are going to do anything? But I kind of want to, like, subject it right here to Trevor Story. Yeah, yes or no, Trevor Story?
I'm going to go with yes.
No way. I'm going to say no.
Yeah. Like, we're going, like, what I think will happen, not what I want, right?
Sure,
like what I expect to happen. Yeah, because, I mean, the only...
So you're expecting Trevor Story to be a Yankee tomorrow at this time?
Put it like this. Yeah. If they're going to make another move, I'll say. If they're going to make another move, which I do expect them to do, I think Trevor Story will be a Yankee just by the only way I can answer this is going off of the reports we've seen. And so far, outside of Joey Gallo, like all the reports, all the tweets, all the rumors that we've seen have largely centered around Trevor Story to the Yankees, right?
I mean,
like
outside of him too.
Not really. Like Barrios like that. Like there was rumors about Barrios, but I feel like the ones that like if you go by volume of tweets, I feel like it's been mostly about Trevor Story. Like the Yankees are for sure. Story. Yeah. So I'm saying if I had to guess, I would go with Story because basically the question turns into because we both, I mean, I guess you don't, but I think the Yankees are going to make a move. So the question comes down to
no, I think they might. I'm not like certain. Yeah.
Okay. So if the Yankees were to make a move, we're basically asking like, is it between Barrios, Kepler, and Story? Because those are the names that have been listed. And I guess you can throw in Schwarber there as well. Out of all those guys, I would go with Story because he's been the one that's been mentioned the most.
I think that's fair. I think it's fair. I mean, but also, I mean, the Yankees are a team that likes to surprise out of nowhere. So it's like, I know they say like usually when there's smoke, there's fire, but it's like, I don't know. I think that possibly what the Rockies could be doing, I know this is like a huge conspiracy. They might be like leaking some info being like, oh, well, the Yankees are interested in the Story, but like, it's really just like make the
Rangers, the Rangers did that with the Padres, bro, with the Gallo stuff. Remember the Padres apparently were like, chugging hard for Joey Gallo, and then like 2 hours later, Joey Gallo's a Yankee. So like that's just like the name of the game.
I want to bring a couple more donos here. Shout out to Jesus with another $2 dono. Appreciate you, Jesus. He says Story and Gray for Voigt. You're gonna have to give up a lot more. It's definitely not gonna be a 2-for-1 deal. Now, maybe if this was like 2020, maybe.
I was gonna say because I don't know why Marley Rivera is getting like ratioed on Twitter. Anyways, maybe if it's like because of the fact they're both free agents after this year, you could probably center it around Voigt, like Voigt being the main piece, and then you throw in like
I just wish he was healthy.
I know. I feel like you might be able to I don't know, Story and Gray is tough because apparently the pitchers are what's getting the most value back this year. So adding Gray in there makes it tough. But like let's just say Story for Voigt. I think that is possible with like maybe like a like the Yankees' 25th best prospect being included as well. I think that might be possible because Voigt has, I think, 2 more years after this? He's not a free agent after this year. He's a free agent after next year. He's a free agent after 23, I believe. So you get 2 years of Luke Voigt for the Rockies. Like that might make sense possibly for Trevor Story because he's going to be a free agent after this year. Let me just one more thing on Trevor Story. There's been a couple of reports too that the Rockies, this could just totally be a leverage thing, and it probably is. They're considering maybe not dealing Story. That would be so dumb of them to not trade Trevor Story. It'd be dumb of them to not trade any of their impending free agents.
It would be like a Harper situation again.
Same. Yeah, and like same with John Gray. Like if they know they're not signing him after this year, They would be so foolish not to trade him. And that goes for really any team that's not in it, especially for the Rockies.
Yeah, no, I still look back at like the 2013 Yankees, and I'm like, why did you guys not trade Cano? But I think the only way it would make sense is if it's like one of your big stars and you're planning on maybe re-signing him, and you think trading him might diminish the possibility of doing so.
I'll say this though about the whole Cano thing, and I was with you about like in 2014. I think they should have traded like D-Rob and stuff, but like it was such a different scenario with the 2013 to 2014 Yankees because like they were still a competitive team. They were in it. Like they were in the wild card race. And like it was Mo's last year in 2013, Jeter's last year in 2014. So you could understand them like not dealing those guys and like Cano and D-Rob and like the other guys. But like for the Rockies, like, bro, like you've essentially been the laughing stock of baseball in terms of like your franchise over the last year. And like you're not going anywhere probably the next even,
bro. I would say like 4 years or so.
Yeah,
3 years.
100%. But really ever since like, especially since the whole Arenado situation went down, they handled all that. Like it's been bad. Like if they know they're not going to re-sign Trevor Story, which they know they're not going to sign him. And if it's the same case with John Gray, why wouldn't you deal them both?
No, I agree 1,000%. I want to bring up this dono here from the man of the hour here, Brian Cashman. $5 dono from you, Cash. Thank you so much for that. He says Schwarber is our plan B trade as a first baseman if we can't acquire Story. Well, I mean, kind of heard it from Cashman here. Apparently Schwarber is the plan B. I prefer Jose Barrios and Max Kepler to be the plan A, but that's neither here nor there. But Dan, we're kind of talking about like Max Kepler once again, right? You know why I want him so much? So we can bury Brett Gardner in the dirt, bro. I don't want to see this dude anywhere near the Yankees anymore. And that kind of goes back to today's game because I know we don't really want to talk about today's game too much because it doesn't really have too much value.
We could talk about that. That was bad.
The play or lack thereof by Brett Gardner in left field today, that might be one of the worst plays of the season. And the whole reasoning that a lot of people argue that he's still even on this team is because of his defense. Bro, if he can't even play defense anymore, why is he on this team? I don't get it.
Yeah, no, listen, that was a bad play. He was basically playing pinball with the left field wall. But like, that's an aberration, though. I mean, like Brett Gardner, I still trust his defense. But listen, you get Kepler, Brett Gardner is relegated to what he's supposed to be, a fourth outfielder.
But I would want Greg Allen to be the fourth outfielder at that point.
That's fair, but that's just not going to happen. So because Brett Gardner's not going to get released. Wait, can we talk about something that is a big topic? Yeah. I was thinking about it.
I think I know where you're going. Do I need to get him?
What are they doing with number 13?
Yes.
What are they doing with number 13? I want to know your opinion on this. And let me say this.
We got Rally Rod.
Can I go here?
Go for it.
Let me preface by saying, like, no opinion that's countering mine is wrong in this case. Everybody has every reason, every right, the Yankees included, to despise Alex Rodriguez, to want nothing to do with him, to not want to honor him in the slightest. To me, just my opinion, I don't want number 13 reissued. Like, whether they're going to retire it officially or give it the Paul O'Neill treatment, he's the greatest third baseman in franchise history. Don't give me Greg Nettles. I don't want to hear it. It's simply not true. A-Rod is the greatest third baseman in franchise history. Me personally, I don't want to see Joey Gallo wearing number 13 tomorrow. Give him 14. Give him something else. Give him 18. But number 13, and this is the time. Like tomorrow, bro, like this is so interesting because, and I'm surprised it took this long for us to get to this. Tomorrow determines, I feel like the state of A-Rod's number. Like if not now, when? You know what I'm saying? Like if they don't give it to Joey Gallo, like I feel like that kind of cements it. It's either getting retired or it's just.
Bro, and I don't think they were expecting to have to make this decision like in the next 24 hours here. But I think this might be the only thing that we've ever agreed on, like 1,000% heavily on. Bro, but if the Yankees give Joey Gallo number 13, I'll probably be sick to my stomach. That's one number that has to be retired.
Hurt. Like it will legitimately, and like maybe this is why, like, because I always say Reggie Jackson's 44 shouldn't have been retired. It's like maybe this is the way I feel about A-Rod. If I saw Gallo wearing 13 tomorrow, maybe that's how fans like in the 70s and 80s would feel about like if somebody's wearing number 44. Like if I see Gallo wearing 13 tomorrow, like it just won't sit right. And I don't think it's one of those things where it'll go away. Like I feel like the remainder of this year, and while Joey Gallo's a Yankee, like seeing number 13 out there when it's not A-Rod wearing his high socks with his badass stance, like it just wouldn't feel right.
I know, but also hear me out.
But let me say one more thing on it, and I want to like emphasize this. Anybody who like disagrees with me, like I totally understand. Like I'm not saying my opinion is the right one. This is just how I personally feel. I don't want to see 13 ever won again by Yankees.
No, and this is exactly what I'm saying. Like I know that there was like beef between the organization, between A-Rod and the New York Yankees, but like my kind of view on it is this: you have so many guys who have their number retired or it's not in circulation that are so much less deserving than Alex Rodriguez. If we're going like by on the field performance and impact he had on the New York Yankees, greatest third baseman in franchise history. Bro, he was the best player on the Yankees for such a long time.
Around it. There's no way around it. And listen, and let me just blow this up here really, really quick. Heyman just tweeted out, Yankees would consider moving Luke Voit to clear some salary. As Jack Curry reported, current targets include Trevor Story and bullpen.
Bro, I can't stand John. He's the king of just recapping information.
No, I know he really is. But let me say something else about A-Rod. If it weren't for 2009, like I would have much less ammo to say this. But like, there's no argument that A-Rod never did anything for the Yankees. And that's why I feel like the Yankees, like that 10-year deal they gave A-Rod, like I feel like they look at it as justified because he got them a ring, and he literally got them a ring. Now, A-Rod, he wasn't amazing in the actual World Series, though he did have a big hit in Game 4. They do not get to the World Series if it's not for A-Rod in 2009. Dude, like 100%. I have his postseason stats like memorized by heart. He hit 365 with 6 home runs, 18 RBIs. One of the greatest postseason performances of all time. And what do we always say as Yankee fans? What matters is what you do in October. And A-Rod did it in October.
And it's not even that, bro. This is turning into like us just loving A-Rod, but also like we take into account like his postseason performance. Let's also remember how he single-handedly turned around the Yankees season in 2009 when he returned from the hip problem, I believe. But bro, he single-handedly turned around the Yankee season with that home run in Baltimore. So I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh, like A-Rod means nothing to the franchise. You can't retire his number, whatever." I think if you're gonna like leave Paul O'Neill's number right now, like in limbo, there's no chance you could put number 13 back in circulation. I'll be sick.
And you could argue that O'Neill's number should be put back into circulation, right? But like,
I agree 1,000%. Paul O'Neill should not have his number retired.
People bring up good points, and like they're all valid points. Like A-Rod sued the Yankees. He sued his own players union that was representing. He embarrassed the team, and there's no way around that. But I have one more question as we wrap this up. How would you feel? I don't think it's going to happen, but how would you feel if Joey Gallo is issue number 13, but on that same day, I guess tomorrow, when they announced Joey Gallo is going to wear number 13, they announced A-Rod is going to get a plaque in Monument Park. No number being retired.
That would be so counterproductive. Well, no, I feel like that would be like a slap in the face.
No, because there's there's players that are not retired that are in Monument Park, like Cone.
No, but if I were A-Rod, I'd be like, I'm not even showing up to the ceremony. If I'm being honest.
No. But A-Rod, he should take what he can get. Like,
I disagree. I think if you're going to give me a plaque, but then the same day you're announcing you're giving me a plaque, you're giving my number to Joey Gallo, I'd be like, yo, screw you, bro.
Well, no, I mean, I think he should say screw you even more if they didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And this goes back to what, like the conversation, like what the difference is between A-Rod and Brett Gardner being released is the Yankees owe A-Rod nothing. And I mean that. They don't owe him a thing. But
they don't owe anything to Brett Gardner either. I'm just saying.
Well, no, but I'm saying the reason they don't owe A-Rod, and this is why like Teixeira wasn't released, because Teixeira never did the organization dirty. A-Rod, he did do the organization dirty, but to me, like the good heavily outweighed the bad. And especially like when he came back in 2015, like from that moment when he came back in 2015 and had that great season and everything he's done to repair his image since then, that's a huge factor as well, because he's best friends with everybody not everybody in baseball. I think actually despise it, but in terms of like the game itself with like Rob Manfred and like people high up, like A-Rod is kind of buddy with MLB now. So it's not like he's looked at as like he's no longer an embarrassment to baseball, put it that way. So I feel like that's why like there's an avenue to where you could retire his number or just not give it out. I don't know.
No, I get it. And also like the last thing that I do want to say on this conversation here is, would you look at Joey Gallo like any differently if he kind of like asked for number 13?
See, what I wonder is, now I'm not sure what
because apparently like he grew up a Yankee fan.
No,
right?
He did.
So,
and I was gonna say that. I'm not sure when he was drafted or when he stopped hardcore watching the Yankees, but I wonder what Joey Gallo's opinion is of A-Rod. So like, because just to say it's Dan Rourke and Patrick Hennessy that just got traded to the Yankees. Me, I'm not asking for A-Rod's number.
No, neither am I.
But Joey Gallo, like he could have been, because there's a lot like, and it's funny because the chat is so split right now. Like it's 50-50. Like
I know,
like pro A-Rod against A-Rod. Joey Gallo, he could be one of those fans that hates A-Rod. So he's like, yeah, give me the number. Or maybe he hates him so much he doesn't want to wear that number, you know? But like, so like that could play a factor in it as well. It's really a matter of, I think, do the Yankees, because I think when you go to like the Yankees or any team, like they present you with the numbers available, right? So like that's what it's really going to come down to, is number 13 available?
Yeah, and I think kind of what it also comes down to is this going to be a real hot take in the chat, but Derek Jeter was never a better player than Alex Rodriguez.
Just saying. Of course not. Anybody who thinks that, here's the way I put it, and I think my take is absolutely correct here. A-Rod was the better player, no doubt. Jeter was the better Yankee, and that's absolutely fair.
Better person. I think that's
no. Jeter was the better Yankee, and that's a fact. I mean, that just goes by championships. And like A-Rod had a great 09.
I'm talking like
that wasn't great.
Field. That's kind of what makes him a better Yankee. You know what I mean?
No. I see. I mean, yeah, of course, off the field too, but like even on the field, like better Yankee, like because what do we determine the greater Yankee is by postseason, and like he won 5 World Series rings. That's But one more thing, A-Rod is also because there's 2 different ways you could look at when like judging a player's career and like where they stand all time. You either look at their prime or like compiled stats. Now, A-Rod was a shortstop from 96 to 2003. When you go by prime, probably the greatest shortstop in history of baseball from 96 to 2003. Yeah. But that's getting off topic because he wasn't a Yankee.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We're way off topic.
I don't want A-Rod's number ever given out again.
No, I agree 1,000%. But I guess like we didn't really touch on the game whatsoever today, but I guess we can kind of talk about it a little bit. Gerrit Cole completely imploded here. I believe 7 earned runs on the day. Listen, I know like a lot of people were pissed off, especially when the stream started here. But Dan, I think we're kind of in the same boat. I don't care whatsoever. Like you still won the series from the Rays. You took 2 out of 3. I think the Yankees are still trending in the right direction. As I always say, I would much rather lose a game like we did today rather than losing in like the 9th inning and Chapman gives up a 3-run walk-off home run to Ji-Man Choi. You know what I mean? I would much rather prefer to lose the way we did today. And also, I'm kind of looking at the Yankee schedule moving forward. I believe the next 4 series are all against pretty easy teams. And also, I'm assuming that there might be some more reinforcements coming over the next 24 hours or so. So I think despite the fact that the Yankees got blown out today, I'm still very confident in this team moving forward.
Yeah, no, 100%. The only thing that's like stinks about today is one, our inability to sweep and our performance in day games. You hear the stat they mentioned? Like we're like, I think, 10 games
no, but it's so funny, bro. It's literally so funny because I was talking about this. I think it was on my post game last night or one of these games because I hate Thursday day games. They're like my least favorite thing ever. And I was like, well, is it because the Yankees seem to always lose in day games? And apparently that's the case. If we look at their record in day games, bro, they're literally, let me pull this up right here.
I feel like on Thursday day games, though, I feel like they don't have 1 win.
13-24 in day games this season. So, bro, they have to be really, really bad in Thursday day games.
Yeah.
They have one of the worst day game records in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm. The other downside of it is what I've been saying this whole time. Like, I'll take my chances with Gerrit Cole in a wildcard game. Well, as of right now, that wildcard game would probably be against Tampa Bay in Tropicana Field. So seeing him, crap the bed in Tropicana Field, that's not that good to see. But at the same time, he also threw like one of his best outings of the season earlier on in Tropicana Field. So I'm not worried about today. I'm not. They took 2 out of 3 against the Rays, and they're going up. They have a great schedule going forward. Got to at least take 2 out of 3 from Miami. But to be honest, that's a series. The pitching matchups are kind of, at least with the way Herman and Tyone have pitched lately, and Montgomery's pitched well as well. You got to try, but you really hope to sweep that series in Miami.
Yeah, no, I agree 1,000%. I think you have to sweep that series in Miami. And I think that, bro, the idea of looking at the Yankees outfield in Miami and how it could possibly be Gallo, Judge, Stanton. Can you imagine that? Bro, that's an all-star team outfield.
Yeah, and Boone basically confirmed like Stanton will be finally playing the outfield.
He has to. No, he has to. There's no other choice in this one.
If you had to guess, think they'll do Judge or Gallo in center? I
think Judge. I think because I don't know when the last time Gallo played center field was.
I haven't checked it myself. But the way people talk about him, it seems like he's pretty competent out there. So I'd figure I'll get it right now. But
because if he hasn't played there this season, I think it's 100% going to be Judge in center.
Let's see. So I have it right here. So the last time he played center field, so he hasn't played it all this year. He played an inning there last year, but in 2019 he played 309 innings in there. So he's pretty familiar, but he hasn't played there consistently in a couple.
When was the last time he played first base?
Let's see. I have it right here. First base. So 2018, 278 innings, 458 innings in 2017. And then he also played 586 innings at third base in 2017.
Bro, all I'm saying is like the versatility of Joey Gallo is super underrated. Like the fact that he plays all 3 outfield positions. Cool. You could throw him at first, you could throw him at third. I don't know.
And that's good. What's good about first base is like I feel like it's like once you've played first base like for a decent amount of time in the major leagues, which Gallo has, like regardless of how many years it's been, you could plug him in there at any point. Like I feel like first base, like, that's the one position like you don't really got to get warmed up to play. I feel like Joey Gallo, if like we had to plug him in at first base tomorrow or whenever, like he could do that, no problem. That's good to know.
One of the last topics that I do want to touch on,
possibly trade Voit. Yeah.
No, yeah, 1,000%. One of the last topics that I do want to talk about today is kind of like going back to Cole's start today, and just an idea that popped up into my head, especially like as we're going into like a potential wild card game. I think that it might be a hot take. I think it might be time to kill the Higgy Cole kind of combo. Like, clearly, it just doesn't seem like it's a thing anymore. I think Who was the catcher for Cole's like exceptional start against Houston? Was it Higgy? Houston,
I think that was Higgy, but he also had Gary caught him against Boston at home with a rain delay game, and Cole was lights out.
For a few really good games, so I don't think that it's like a Higgy Cole thing. I think it's just Cole whenever he's on, he's on.
That Boston game, like if it doesn't get rained out, Cole's probably on pace to have like a top 3 or top 4. He was filthy that night with Gary. And then what is he? He had opening day. He had the Boston Star. I feel like he had one more in there that I'm forgetting about. Was it Gary? Because I don't think Gary called him last week in Boston because that was the day after Gary got hurt. No.
Well, no, Higgy wasn't back yet. Gary was catching it.
Okay, he did.
Brantley might have. Let me check.
But even if it was Gary, Cole he was good against Boston. It's just Boston wore him out. Like
it was just the Devers homer.
Yeah, like Cole had good stuff in Boston last time out at least.
So do you agree that we should just kind of like abolish the Higgy Cole combo, especially bro, for a wild card game? I want those two to I want Gary and Cole to kind of be
I think now it's like I don't think there's a chance. Not a chance, but I think it's likely that Gary will catch Cole in a potential wild card game. But my stance is kind of the same as it's always been. It's that it should never be like a guarantee that Higgy has to catch Cole. Now, I have no problem with, if you want to work Gary's off days around Garrett Cole, just where Gary gets a day off, that's when Higgy will start. Or when Garrett Cole's pitching, that's when Gary gets a day off. But Gary's proven now, and Cole has proven by pitching well to Gary that he doesn't need to throw to Higgy. So if Cole's starting one day and Gary should be playing, he should be playing.
All right, but also please,
he doesn't need a day off.
Please refresh my memory. I'm looking at the box score from Cole's start in Boston. Why did Brantley come in for Gary? It looks like Gary only got one at bat.
That was when what was it? Well, when Gary got hurt, it was
yeah.
What was it? I forget what it was, but it was something, that minor thing, like the day-to-day thing.
So basically Brantley did catch Cole that start.
And Cole looked, while he was with Gary, he looked really good. Because Cole looked good that game up until the 5th inning or 6th inning when Devers hit that homer. And I'm not blaming that on Brantley. I'm just saying when he was with Gary, he pitched fine.
I mean, the only reason I'm kind of saying this is simply because we're expecting to play a wild card game this year, and you need your best possible lineup in there for a wild card game. So I think that the only way where you can kind of keep Gary in the lineup is by having him catch, unless you trust Stanton so much in the outfield and you do an outfield for the wild card game of Stanton, Judge, Gallo, and then have Gary DH with Higgy catching. But I don't know if that's your best offensive lineup.
I think it's a guarantee Stanton would be playing left in a wild card game.
You think?
I'll say this though. Yeah, I think so. One, when we say expect to play a wild card game, I legitimately expect to me the Yankees are making the playoffs. I think they're going to be in that wild card game.
I like the confidence.
No, I truly do feel that way. That's not just me. And I would probably say the same thing a month ago, but it'd be blind optimism. I truly mean that right now. But also too, bro, Gary's defense, not talking about the whole Cole thing, just in general, Gary's defense, I don't look at it as a problem. He's a competent catcher to me. He's fine. There's some pass balls and some ugly ones here and there. And I think the problem with Gary is it always seems to be when he does have the pass balls, they happen to be in crappy situations, right? So it's a much more exposure to it when it's a run scores on it. But I don't get nervous about Gary behind the plate I did say 2018 or 2017. I think he's improved so much. So I think that's one of the reasons why Gary definitely should start in a wild card game. And I think he will.
Look at us agreeing on so much tonight. But
we have agreed a lot today.
I know, bro. I think it's because my vibes are a little bit higher. Yeah. On Monday, I was so nervous the Yankees weren't going to do anything. But I guess we kind of wrap things up tonight with a question. And I guess, chat, you guys could answer this too. Dan, gun to your head. What do you think happens in the next 24 hours with the Yankees?
Well, I have to stick to what I said before. Trevor Story, I'd say.
Yeah?
Trevor Story. I'm trying to think because I don't think – I'll tell you this, and this is where I think we might have been kind of wrong before with the way we're talking. I doubt the Rockies would include Story and Gray in the same deal, and I doubt the Twins would include Berrios and Kepler in the same deal. So I'm going to say the Yankees make 2 separate trades. I think one will be for Trevor Story, and then they might go out and get Jose Berrios. So it could be say if they get Trevor Story, I think they'll go out and get a Berrios or some other starting pitcher or a reliever. And then if they go out and get Kepler, then they won't get Berrios. So I think it's either going to be Story and a pitcher or Kepler and a pitcher from another team, if that made sense. I don't know if I worded that right.
I listen, this is a total opinion thing here. So I think I'm going to go with my kind of gut here. And I'm going to say that the Yankees go out and they make a mega deal. They get Jose Berrios and Max Kepler. And I think they just satisfy all needs there. I'm sorry.
It's crazy what one trade could do to you, bro.
No, I know. But no, because I'm kind of viewing it like this. I'm kind of viewing it like this. I just needed the floodgates to open. And I think with the Gallo trade, I think the floodgates have opened. So now if the Yankees don't go out and do something else, I think that they're just stupid, bro. They're literally just the definition of stupid. If they go out and they get Gallo and now they're like fully in hardcore buy mode and they don't make any other moves, it would just be stupidity. Like Brian Cashman, don't sit on your thumbs, do something.
I think we can both agree, like confidently agree, that they're making another move. Regardless of what that is, like they're making another move. Like
they have to. They have no choice.
Yeah,
they have to. They have to. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, that is going to wrap things up.
Can I do a gun to your head? Wait, let me do a gun to your head.
Okay, go for it.
By 4 p.m. tomorrow, is Luke Voit still a Yankee?
Oh, I like this one. Yes.
I'm gonna go with yes too. Although I think it's like a 45% chance he gets, like a 40% chance he gets traded.
40. I would say 40.
Chance he stays. Yeah. So
I think the only reason why he would be a Yankee is because I think that they're not going to get as much value for him as they'd like because of the lack of performance this year, because of the injuries. So I think that's the only reason why he would probably remain a Yankee. But if it was up to me, I'd get rid of him.
If the Yankees do get Trevor Story, is Luke Voit a Yankee? No. Right? That's what I would say.
No, because
if unless you're going to play Stanton in left full time and Voit can become your DH, like it just wouldn't make sense. Like if you're going to get Trevor Story, like it makes no sense to keep Voit.
I agree 1,000%. I think if you trade for Trevor Story, either Voit goes to Colorado in that deal, or you flip Voit like in a deal for a pitcher or something. I mean, the ideal situation here, Dan, would be like you acquire a Story from Colorado, you don't have to give up Voit, and then you flip Voit for like Berrios or Kepler or something. And then you literally just have like a super team that even though you're like 9 games back of first place. But that is going to wrap things up for today.
I might be with you on the division thing then if we do all that.
Episode 11, the Pat and Dan Show, wrapping things up here. Appreciate you all for stopping by. Chat, I don't know if the Yankees are going to be making any more deals over the next 24 hours, but I can guarantee you guys if they do, I will be going live with an emergency stream. Maybe I'll call Dan again. We'll see what's going on there. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If there are no other deals taking place, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Yankees pregame at 6 p.m. But you guys know the deal. Check out all the links in the description. We go live on this channel for the Pat and Dan Show every Monday and every Thursday at 9 p.m. on an off day or directly after the Yankee game if they do play. And shout out to Taco Nacho with a $2 dono. He says, Pat, can you go live if we trade for Story today? The answer is yes, indeed, my man. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you next time. Peace.